Welcome to this freshly hatched, unmatched batch from scratch, the show where, just like our emotions, the beers are bottled and canned.
Every episode, we try some beer, talk about life. We really don't know shit about either, so don't set your expectations too high.
Our credentials, null. Our expertise, void, so don't take anything we say too serious.
Let's talk some shit.
Welcome back to Bottled and Canned, the show where we didn't fuck it up. Well,
Yes.
we fucked up a lot of things, but today we didn't. Are yet to fuck the show where we are yet to fuck
fuck it-
something
yeah,
up.
there
There we
you
go. I'm Matt.
I'm Jason.
This is episode number 33, baby.
Wow, we up to 33 already?
That's 2 3s. And
Yeah,
today
but-
is the 3rd, by the way. Today is July 3rd. Only recordings we go live. So how about
Nice.
them apples, dude?
You know what tomorrow is?
No. Please indulge me. What is tomorrow, Jason? I wasn't aware. So.
Independence Day.
The movie with Will Smith and the aliens?
Yes, that's it.
Oh man, that's a
Tomorrow's
great
when the
speech.
aliens.
That's a great speech, man.
I like what's a crazy guy's name? That the Randy Quaid.
Braveheart.
I was saying Randy Quaid. I love when he takes the plane.
It was a very Braveheart moment because he does like I know it was Randy Quaid. I was being funny, but he does like fly down and like half his face is blue, so that's kind of Braveheart adjacent.
Yeah.
Adjacent. All right,
It's a great movie.
What's going on?
Do they still have like big summertime blockbusters since COVID?
No, I mean the Top Gun, that remake of Top Gun was kind of that. I felt like,
Dude, I thought that was great.
The summertime, everyone was like, "You got to go see it in theaters. It's such an experience." It was like one of those like things. So.
Oh, dude, I guess they had Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Or
Yeah, I
something
think
like
that like, and people say those movies are like not bad. Like
Dude, I really want to see the Brad Pitt F1 movie.
I do too, in theaters, in IMAX,
Yes.
with rumble seat
Oh,
for my butt.
I love rumble seats.
Dude, this is a kid's show. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
no, I just like rumble seats.
Anyway, how you doing, man? Doing good, right?
Dude, you know what, Matt? I don't think I could do any better.
Okay.
I really don't.
I don't. That was so okay. All right. I don't really know where to take that. Sounds like things are perfect. Why follow up with anything? Great.
Yeah,
How do
no.
I get there? What's the secret?
There's no secret, man.
Oh,
It's all bullshit.
it's all the personality, all the drip, all the riz, as the kids would say, is just because you had a little beer today or something.
It was at a happy hour prior. The only downside is I had like we met up a little earlier than I wanted to or originally anticipated. And then so I had like this downtime in the middle and I was like, well, I got to drive over here. So I don't want to keep coasting on it. So, like you have some and then you're like, oh, I should have had at least one more to keep coasting a little bit till I got here, but I didn't. But, I think that shot that we did beforehand might have helped.
We had to start doing a pre-show shot. Jason needed a little jolt. He needs a
little pick me up.
a little kiss, a little smooch. But I just realized that he came from a happy hour. We didn't need to do the primer shot. You already kind of did it, but that's okay.
No, I did. But it was wearing off, so I was getting to the point where I was like, ready for a little.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I know you said that, but I still don't believe you. All right. Well, listen. I am interested in trying to be as charismatic and as sexy and as cool as you are right now. So I think we should
move this
get
camera a little
to today's beer. Today's beer. Ah, yes, today's beer.
Matt,
What's up, Jason?
what beer is it?
My friend, I am so excited you asked. The beer today is Evil Fusion Summer Edition from Evil Twin Brewing in New York City.
Evil Twin Brewing.
Yeah.
Is it bottled or is it
My
canned?
friend, it is canned, and you're the man. All right. So I'm excited for this one. It is there's a multiple series of this one, Evil Fusion. This is the summer edition. There's also a couple other ones, like a winter and an autumn edition, but we got the summer edition. It is summer out here in Las Vegas. So yeah, that is the beer we're gonna have today, man. What do you think of the can?
It's got it looks like well, first of all, I like the coloring. Is that mauve? Would you call that mauve?
Ooh, that's a good use of mauve. Yes, that is a perfect mauve tone.
I like it's got that triangle with the eye. That's like the dollar thing on the dollar bill.
They do that a lot in their
And there's
stuff.
like there's like two triangles flip flop like upside down.
Yeah, it's in collaboration with. Oh, forgive me, I should have had this on the tip of my tongue. In collaboration with Woven Water Brewing Company. So it's a collab beer. It's a collab beer. So, but it's a smoothie pastry sour. Which, to be honest with you guys, this is. I'm gonna pull up some beer analytics here for Jason. This is our fourth smoothie pastry sour, and it's our third one in the last 11 episodes. So we have been doing this style way too much. When I looked at it and I was reading it, I misread it. I didn't read the very last word on the ingredients list, and it is soft serve. I read like a sour ale with pistachio, and I'm like, oh, I'm in on this. This sounds great. And then I get home and I look it up, and it says it's a smoothie sour, and I'm just like, damn it, we've done this so much. So anyway, it is another smoothie sour.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, man. Very grapefruit or pink in color. So
It is a grapefruit color. I agree. Sorry, I didn't mean to have the mic so far away, but then I yelled to make up for it. So I think we're in good shape.
make sure you shake yours up and stir. Yours doesn't look the same color as mine. So
It's close. It was upside down. I thought we were good.
I did, but I would still like just kind of
Give it a
stir
little-
and shake a little.
Give it a little
zhuzh.
zhuzh.
Yeah, a little zhuzh. You knew it. You knew it. Buddy.
knew you were
I'm
going with
proud
that.
of you, man.
No, man. I think you should be more critical of yourself on your beer selection.
Yeah, I mean, I was
Holy
sour.
fuck, that's sour.
Yeah, sour. Wow, exactly. First thing I hit is, whoa, that's sour. Whoa.
So if you like sours, this is one to try.
Definitely.
This is a sour.
As labeled, as they would say. Wow.
Or in our world,
Sorry, I was
as advertised.
This last visit, I was kind of a struggle for me to find like a good beer and a good topic. Like I really couldn't connect with anything. So this one just made it sparked enough of an idea that I like made it work. So I kind of forced the sour too, because I'm like, okay, this is at least one that works name wise. What's up?
Dude, I think the next time you struggle with that, why don't we just let me know, give me a little heads up, and I will put together an hour-long version of Fact or False Bitch. It'll be fun.
So you've had some ideas on the show, right? You've shared them.
You love them.
Curated them. That is one of them.
That is definitely an idea.
Just one of the ideas. Yes, for sure.
You love it.
Okay. Anyway, so it's time to rate this beer, and
Dude, I don't know how to rate it because in terms of sour, it's sour. So yay, mission accomplished. The second sip is better than the first. When you're not expecting it to be as sour as it is, it'll hit you. It's thick.
it'll hit you with a good Lord split you. You know, it's not as thick as some other smoothie pastry sours as we've had. Like if you remember some of the other ones, like this one does pour thick. It has a big head. It seems like it's going to be super heavy, but in the end, it's just it's a little thick. It is creamy, but it's not quite as dense as some of those other ones we've had on the show. I'm struggling to rate this one, but I just don't. I don't love it as much as I've loved some of the other beers we've had on the show, to be honest.
I don't like giving these breweries bad. They put their heart and soul into these
And this
things.
is a famous brewery out of like.
And dude, it's
York.
It's good, but I'll rate it. I'm ready.
Okay, man, this is like stone cold. How quickly you were ready makes me nervous. So fire away. Well, what are you gonna rate it, dude?
Like a 3.9.
A 3.9 flat.
Yeah.
Wow, like last week was a 3.8. This is a 3.9. I mean, it's not been a couple of good weeks, huh? We've got to do better on the beers for Jason. The thing is, I know you gravitate towards IPAs and hazies and stuff like that. And I just don't want to become the show where that's all we do, because that's what's most available most places. But maybe we got to do it, bro.
No, we can do whatever.
We got to do it.
I want to
bro.
try
We
different
got
things.
to do it.
We had some like milk stout. Didn't we have a milk stout once before? Is it Aces and Ales still around? Is that still
Hell
a thing?
yeah! And they opened up like a new kind of like sister company called Evolve Brewing, where they brew their own beer now, and with the same food program as Aces and Ales. But I think they have 2 locations for Aces and Ales, and then now this third one's Evolve over on the Bend, that new like shopping center they opened up, south side of town.
The Bend.
Yeah, there's like
Is that over by Uncommons?
Korean biscuit and gravy place, a ramen
When you
spot.
say south, you mean southwest, southeast?
Southwest, like
The Bend. Why don't I know about this?
it's by IKEA. Like
Oh, where the Ashley furniture is.
kind of, but there's like this little outdoor shopping area that they're putting all
I
these.
thought
Like,
that was called Uncommons.
no, not on that side. The other, like on the other side of the freeway. So on the IKEA side of the freeway, like behind IKEA, if you will.
Was that Sunset?
Yeah, basically Sunset
Okay, cool.
Durango. Anyway, people are like, "What the hell are you guys talking about?" Anyway, it's just cool. But anyway, so it evolves there. But that's Aces and Nails. So why'd you ask about Aces and Nails? You just remember having
A milk stout there.
milk stout. We have had milk stouts here. Yes, Jason.
They had a large selection. I used to go there to watch football sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. You know, and again, like
That is true.
the more I've sipped on it, the more I kind of get it. It's kind of a sipping beer because if you don't take as big of like tasting mouthfuls, it's a little bit more palatable for sure.
No, agree, dude. That's why I said like the second sip was better than the first.
Yeah,
Because the first one was almost kind of a shock to the system. I wasn't expecting it to be that sour and that like
yeah.
I don't know. It's good though.
I'm doing
I'm starting to like it.
I'm doing a 4.0. I'm doing a 4.05 because it's again like
It's moving up
it
to
did mellow out a little bit on the sourness. I don't know if my tongue just got more used to that, you know, punch
gives
of
that-
flavor.
It makes
It's actually a little bit more subtle than it's because it's so sour. You're not like the flavors are a little bit more subtle. It's good. It's not bad.
my tongue feels like I have it on a 9-volt.
Yeah, it almost probably has like I don't know. Yeah, but it's just sour ale with raspberry, lemon, pistachio, and pistachio soft serve. So
What is that stuff they put in pre-workout drinks? That makes
creatine,
not the creatine, the stuff it starts with a B, makes your face tingle.
niacin, niacin.
I thought it was started with a B, but it could be.
My brother used to take niacin. He used to fry his skin so he could pass drug tests.
Oh, good. Did it work?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Probably. I have no idea.
No, whatever they put in the pre-workouts that makes the face tingle. That's almost what this feels like, but I'm sure it's not in there. But they should put it in there. I like when my face
I like
tingles.
where your head's at. Like, just make some faces tingle. Let's go
Yeah,
for it,
let's
dude.
do
So,
it.
all right, man. Well, we've rated the beer. Let's sip
We're
on
moving
this
right
thing.
along today.
Yeah, let's. Well, I mean, actually, we're doing all right. We're
All
not
right.
going that fast. Chill. Why don't we just kill some time while we fill our veins with some of this booze?
Let's do it.
It's a time killer and vein filler.
All right, Jason. I know we're not playing false bitch.
Fact or false, bitch.
Fact
I
or
really,
false
I really
bitch.
did.
I know we're not.
I told you before the show, ladies and gentlemen. I told
What
Matt.
are we playing?
I tried to play fact or false, bitch, but there's not a lot of interesting facts about the 4th of July that I found.
Okay.
Except for the fact that it was like finally signed in August and they agreed on it like August or July 2nd. So I don't really know where the 4th came from, but either way. But in honor of the 4th of July, which for those listening at home is our Independence Day celebration.
I guess.
Yeah, we have fireworks and
Boom, America.
hot dog eating contests.
I will be making some hot dog burn-ins tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Dude, what kind of hot dogs do you use? You don't use Oscar Mayer, right? You have to use 100% beef or
for this,
Vienna
if-
beef.
I can't wait for you. Ask me to open this door. I'm gonna answer this. You need quarter-pound hot dogs to do it right. I don't prefer. I prefer another brand called Sabrett's. It's like a Northeast brand. They don't make any quarter-pound dogs I can get anywhere close. So I do the Hebrew National all beef, and I use a slot dog to do like to basically create a bunch of cracks and crevices on the hot dogs. Then I put them on the smoker for an hour and a half with like some barbecue rub and like a binder, and then spritz them with like Worcestershire sauce. Then I take them out, chop them into fourths, put barbecue sauce, butter, and brown sugar into like a metal tin, and put them back on the smoker for another hour and a half.
That sounds amazing.
It's called like hot dog burn-ins. It's like poor man's burn-ins. And so I'm making those tomorrow for the 4th. Then I got my homemade pickles, my homemade burger sauce, and I'm making like 36
Dude,
smash burgers.
why
tomorrow.
didn't I just come over earlier to get a little sample?
I mean, at this point,
When we're done, let's just start fucking cooking.
honestly, like I have some beef.
Dude, that's-
I have my new beef jerky recipe for you to try too.
Oh,
So,
dude, I'm
okay.
so excited.
So anyway, I've been at work hard for prepping for the 4th. So anyway, you asked, but I am cooking hot dogs and hamburgers tomorrow. But it's all like elevated like versions of these
If
things.
Joey Chestnut showed up, would you have to make more?
Oh my God, yes, I think I only have 12 quarter-pound franks, so he could literally swallow those like do the math, 15, 20 seconds. He could swallow all those.
Dude, do you know he set the record for 76 in 2021.
He
70
did 76.
That was the world record. However, when he did Kobayashi and him, they went head to head in some competition.
Kobayashi won, right?
It said he had his personal best was 83. Well, it doesn't say maybe Kobayashi won, but he said his personal best was 83 hot dogs.
No, that sounds right. Okay,
83 hot dogs in 10 minutes. It's
Wow.
insane. Which brings us to the time killer vein filler, Matt.
All right, buddy, let's do this.
So, Mr. Chestnut has got 55 world eating records, dude. 55. I would like to share with you a small list, and you tell me which ones you think you can compete in,
All right, let's do it.
or how many you could eat of these.
I also want to be able to use the younger version of me because the younger version of me could do some damage.
All right, yeah. Not the
Right
calorie
now-
counting, carb
Yeah,
counting.
it's just the intermittent fasting. I don't put as much food in my stomach. I'm not fitting as much stuff. I don't stretch it as much.
So
But when I was younger, I had a stomach on me. So
I'm going to share with you a couple of his world records,
Okay.
handful. I don't know, it's like 8 or 9 or whatever. You know my random
okay,
numbers.
I love it. I love it.
And then we're going to talk about how many you think you could eat.
All right, let's go.
All right. One of his world records,
Okay.
waffles. And I don't know if they're Lego Maegos. They didn't give me the
Okay.
size.
Let's pretend like they're like not a Belgian, so not like a thick waffle, but like a normal sized
Just Lego Maego.
cafe. Not even an Eggo, a little bigger than an Eggo, like a cafe waffle.
Okay. Cafe waffle. 81 waffles
Excuse
in 8
me?
minutes.
Excuse me.
81.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I could eat 20, like total at my
In a
peak.
day?
At my peak, like for like one
A
meal.
sitting, yeah. No, he 81.
Okay, wow, couldn't do that one.
This one is interesting. This, dude. I don't know bratwurst. First of all,
Bratwursts are wow. Okay, yeah.
brats. I don't know if they're the white brats. What are the white brats called?
It's usually a Swiss knockwurst, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
I don't know if they're knockwurst. Like I guess it would be bratwurst. Otherwise, it's a knockwurst. But I
okay.
thought, the knockwurst are good with like mustard.
Oh yeah, I get a nice knockwurst up at the there's a Great Links over down the street.
Huh?
Like
Never
Great
been there.
Lakes,
I should
but Great
go hit
Links. And it's a bunch of great hot dogs and a good sausage spot. So
that. Nice.
I know you love a good sausage spot.
I do love sausage spots.
You would.
All right, 70 bratwurst in 10 minutes.
Fuck that. I couldn't eat. I could probably do 20. Like I'd probably about 20 bratwurst. Is this no bun? No bun?
Oh, I'm assuming bun because they have to soak the bun in the
Oh,
water.
that's true.
Um,
Yeah, 15. 15.
in 10 minutes.
Yeah, dude. Maybe. Yeah. Like, and I would be proud of that if I could knock that
Do
out.
probably 3.
Oh God, I could wolf. I can eat still. Like,
I don't. What do you think that's like when he gets home? Like, hey, honey, I'm home from work.
they all
I
talk
ate
about it. Like
70 fucking bratwurst today.
they always like joke or they feel bad like for the airplane ride home and stuff for people. Like it's you.
Oh, dude, I think you would have to just go to the quick care and just be like, give me some.
No, I mean they're just used to it, but I mean you just have to pass all of it. You know what I mean? Like it's brutal, dude. I don't know. I could never be a competitive eater.
Nothing. Okay, how about this? This one, chicken wings. It says long form. I don't know what that means.
Oh, that means probably full, like a full chicken wing, not like.
Oh, not like
So you got to eat the flat and the drum
and the little
Yeah,
drum.
Yeah, yeah.
Not split in half.
Jesus, dude. Oh my God. In how long? 10 minutes?
This one was in 30 minutes for some reason.
Oh, in 30 minutes, how many could I do? 50.
Okay. Joey's going to beat you in that one. He had 182.
Damn, are you fucking serious? I was like, I'm getting closer. It was at 80 for the other ones. Like, I'm getting close. I'm getting 50. But 50 wings. That's like 100 total wings.
Listen,
Like, I mean,
I don't want to kill the suspense here, but the next one you might be able to I feel like is competable.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk to me.
Tacos, Taco Bell soft beef.
Oh God,
This one I can't believe it's a world
I could
record.
eat 100 of those.
Dude, the record is 53 according to Gemini.
I could actually crush probably 50 of those, no problem.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one's. This one's good. From the Kolache factory. How many kolaches? Kolachkis? I don't know how to say it.
Is that that's like a dessert thing, right?
It's like a sausage inside of what's a pastry? It's like what are those fucking?
Like a croissant.
Yeah, and they bake the bitch inside.
Like the McDonald's dessert
baking
things.
that bitch inside. Yeah.
Okay, baking the bitch inside.
Yeah. Dude, when I was in Texas not too long ago.
Oh, Kolache, yeah.
When I was in Texas not too long ago, we went and picked some up, dude. They're fucking legit, dude. They're good. I don't know if we went to Kolache factory, Kolache.
Let's go.
I don't even know how to fucking say it.
Let's go 30. Let's go 30.
Dude, you can compete with them. 56 sausage and cheese Kolachkis.
Sausage and cheese. That's a little.
Is it
man,
Kolachkis or
rich.
Kolachis?
It's Kolache, I thought.
Kolachis.
Yeah,
Kolachis. Kolaches.
Listen, now now that you spelled it, you've ruined it for my brain. I don't know.
Okay. How about glazed donuts, my man?
Ooh, like Krispy Kreme?
Let's just call them Krispy Kremes.
Well,
because I think you can crush Krispy Kremes because they're so light.
I was gonna say I could
Dunkin'
take a whole
Donuts
box
is heavy.
and just shove all the Krispy Kreme donuts into one amorphous ball, and I could down a whole box in like 2 bites.
All right, how many bites would it take you in 8 minutes?
I could do.
And how many?
If I was really rushing, we were really doing this, I could probably eat 48 donuts.
Close, dude. You're getting close. His record's 55.
I'm saying I could probably, like, at my heyday, I could eat a whole box of Krispy Kremes, no problem. Like before my mom would get to 2 stoplights from Krispy Kreme, I could down a whole box of those bitches.
Here's why everybody thinks you're fat, and then they see your picture, and they're like, "He's not." I don't understand like the old and balding part, but
it's all about your stomach size. Like a lot of these competitive eaters aren't.
Kobayashi's like thin.
That's what I'm saying. They work out and they take care of themselves. Their stomachs are big. Their stomachs can fit a lot of stuff.
Did you ever see his abs afterwards? Yeah. Like you could see the imprints of like the hot dogs. Like
disgusting,
dude. Yikes. The glazed donuts. Man, I don't know how many. I used to love donuts, Long Johns with the cream filled with the vanilla cream in the middle.
I grew up with this spot called Lamar's Donuts, and it's
Odom.
Lamar's Donuts. Nothing to do with Lamar Odom. It was like a brand from the 1950s, and they're all over the Midwest. I want to say they're either started in Denver or they were started in Kansas City, and then they made it to Denver. Either way, it is a delicious like Long John or like we call them Long Johns in the Midwest. They call them like chocolate bars out here or something. Like,
do they?
Yeah.
What's an eclair? That's
usually thing? Got like cream filling inside. If I'm not mistaken.
Those are good too.
Those are fire. Usually smaller too.
When I went to Franklin Elementary School, which is now a YMCA. It's on Broad
Hell
Street.
Yeah, dude.
So every morning I'd walk down to school, and when I got down to school, are you looking for the dog? She's not here.
Don't worry about it. Just keep going.
When I would walk down to school, we stop at Patty Cake Bakery, which is now called the Vegas Bakery of all things in Griffith, Indiana, G-Town. And, dude, we used to always get donuts every morning until we got older, and then they would sell the hot Otis Spunkmeyer cookies at school.
Bro.
Mm-hmm.
Bro. Did you have to take turns who got to sell them?
Yes.
You knew, bro.
I was wondering why. In high school, I'm like, why don't I have a six-pack? Oh, because I mean Otis Spunkmeyer and Pepsi every fucking morning. This is probably not
Bro, I totally... Dude, you got to be the baker or the seller, and I just would, remember just be like, Mom, can I... It was like a quarter each, so you get 4 for $1.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember my mom being like,
sugar and the sugar cookies?
That $1 has to last you all week. Like, you can use it for, like, a soda when you want it or whatever. Monday morning, 9 a.m.,
give me all the cookies and soda you can get with this $1.
4 fucking cookies, please. Yeah. Like 2 snickerdoodles on peanut butter and a sugar. You know,
dude, the sugar cookies were legit. The chocolate chip were legit. My goodness. How many of those do you think you can crush?
A hot Otis Spunkmeyer cookie in my heyday, like,
let's say in 10 minutes.
1 million out of 1 billion.
Like
I can't put a number to it. Yeah, I was gonna say I can't do I could do a billion, dude. Oh my god, that is you unlock such a core memory, and no one even knows what I say. It's such a Midwest thing, I think. I'm like Otis Spunkmeyer. They're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, it's a weird name, right?
It
like,
is very
Otis
weird.
Spunkmeyer.
Yeah, but did they even sell them anywhere? Like, how could you get a?
Dude, now I'm on the hunt. I did see him once, but hey, do me a favor. Go out. I left our backup beers in the lunchbox.
Should we hit pause or you want to finish?
We don't hit pause. I will take over for a minute.
about?
I will take care of it. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to say anything bad about you, like especially when you leave. No. Okay. So Jason, listen. Jason, listen. Everyone, help me. Whatever you do, he's a monster to work with. He just yells at me all the time. It's nonstop badgering, and he's never happy. And I love him, and he's a great part. No, I'm just kidding. So, I told you, I said nothing bad. It was all good stuff. Yeah, I messed up and left those out there. And usually my wife would be right there, but they're outside with the kids, like playing right now. She's outside with the neighbors. They're all playing. So, I fucked up. So, all right, Jason, thank you for saving the day. And I definitely said nothing but nice things about you.
Yeah, I bet.
All right, so anyway, how many more do we have? We have a few more left. So.
We have 4 more left.
Oh, wow.
Crystal's Burgers, which I've never had one, but I'm assuming it's a White Castle.
Kind of. I think they're like, almost microwavable like things.
This one seems like legit and probably hard
60?
to beat. He's at 103. I think he could totally crush that. I couldn't do it.
No way.
This one is, I'm saying, this is fucking impossible.
Shit, by the way, let's go back. I didn't put you back on camera.
Oh, that's
it was
fine.
just me.
Ice cream sandwiches. See, the challenge with that is you can't eat them too quick because you get the ice cream headaches. You just got you get an aneurysm or some shit if you eat too many.
How long did he do it in? What was his time frame?
6 minutes.
20.
Okay, that's close. He was at 25.5.
Yeah.
I couldn't
20,
touch that
maybe
because
I'm lying.
I would just get the brain freeze.
Yeah, but I used to eat a whole.
And that would kill 3
I
minutes
ate a
right
whole
there.
gallon of ice cream when I was a kid, like a gallon of ice cream, no problem, and I would just power through the brain freeze.
All right, here's one that they would. I'm sure they would love him on the plane afterwards. Hard-boiled eggs in 8 minutes, and I don't think he had. I think they were already peeled. Otherwise, you couldn't touch this number if you had to peel them first.
Okay. 40.
141.
I'm good. Okay, I'm good on that one.
All right, jalapeno poppers. That
God.
one. I mean, I feel like you can crush those.
But your mouth is so tore up because they're like breaded,
And then you have to drink milk, which will really fuck you up.
What was the time frame? 10?
10 minutes.
50.
210.
I'm good. All right. Fuck, man. All right. Joey Chestnut. Joey Chestnut. No, Joey Chestnut, man.
This dude
is the
can
man.
eat.
That boy can eat.
This dude can eat. He could put it down.
Yeah, I think even everything I answered probably was like optimistic and like way over what I actually could do. And I still didn't even.
Even the one that you said, like infinity,
Well, that's different.
that one was like legit.
Yeah. Honestly, if I could go back in time and like
If you had a going back in time machine.
just eat, if I had a going back in time machine, I think I could just eat like that whole pint of that rainbow sherbet, the whole gallon of rainbow sherbet, like for the rest of my life, dude. I could just, my grandma she used to get this big old gallon of it, and it would be for like everyone for the whole weekend, and I would just eat the entire tub in one sitting. After everyone would go to sleep, I just wake up.
Dude, let me ask you about this. The worst ice cream in the history of the world. What is that? What the fuck is the thing with the 3 flavors inside? And then no one, like, why do they even put the strawberry in there?
The Neapolitan.
Fuck that
And
shit.
then
It's like, you're like, God damn it, I got a little strawberry in my chocolate. Who the fuck did, like, all the boxes empty from the vanilla and chocolate side, and there's like a little.
Yo, that was true. And then if anyone
Just try
like
this shit out.
if anyone swiped like across the grain,
You're like, what
you
are
were
you-
like, "Are you a terrorist?"
Yeah, like, why are you putting strawberry, mixing it with this shit?
Yeah, like who are you? You know, like are you an evil clone? Have
Yeah.
you taken over the body of my family member?
Like, how much more would they sell if they would just be like chocolate and vanilla instead of adding the strawberry in there?
Dude, I don't know.
I mean,
but that is a good take. That is a good take. So, but you remember the sherbet, like the rainbow sherbet? It had like the green,
I like it.
the pink, and the orange.
You know?
Yeah, I like it. I did.
right.
That was sherbet. It's a good palate cleanser.
It is, especially when you're having a nice, rich dinner. So, all right, man. Well, anyway, that was a good. Is there one more? Is that it?
No, that was it.
That was a good time killer. Like, we all just have a little bit more respect for Joey Chestnut than we did.
And we got to
when we
reminisce
came
about
into
foods.
it. We got to think about foods, and I got to talk about my cooking tomorrow, which I'm stoked about. But we do have a lot to discuss, and usually a place to discuss something is in. It's time for that main discussion, where just like today's beer, our emotions are bottled and canned. All right, main discussion time. Are you ready?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it was very okay. So the name of the beer was Evil Fusion, right? Summer edition. So bonus points if there's a summer spin to anything you have to share with the audience. But Evil Fusion. What I thought about when I saw this beer was that there are people in our lives that when we're around them, when we're next to them, when we had a friendship with them for a period of time or a romance potentially, like they brought out the worst in us. Like with them, you became evil, right? So when you would fuse with this person, when you spend time with them, you would like do evil things or not be in your normal character. So that's kind of like the premise of Evil Fusion. So, and again, someone that was a bad influence, someone that made you a bad person or a worse person, right? That's kind of the simpler way to put it. But I can start because I do have like 3 different ones. And actually one of them I've shared on the show just recently as a small example.
When you think about the emotions that this brings up, are your emotions, like, are they bottled or are they canned?
Oh, my friend, you're so right. Not to go backwards before we can go forwards, but our emotions are going to be a little bit of both in the main discussion. So,
Okay, good.
all right, well, good recovery, sir.
While you tell us,
Wow, you tell us. Your Indiana came out, bro.
dude,
Your region rat.
dude, what's funny about
Region
the
rat.
region, since I just came back, dude, the accent there is so fucking thick, bro. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
So, thank God it's not like a North Dakota or any of these kinds of
Oh,
fucking-
sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But I want you to think about this too when you're talking about your evil, whoever brings out the worst in you, whatever the hell. You just set that up better than I just. I would like to know at the end of what you say in your 3 stories, what is the worst thing you've ever done? That's going to be a fun one.
I don't want to do that one. That one's going to be hard to put on paper, but we'll do like an adjacent one. Okay, anyway.
As long as let's put this. The worst thing you've ever done that's past the limit. What's that? The statute of limitations.
Like almost everything I most regret is from the, like younger years when I was a kid. Like nothing is even close to recently.
Like I haven't robbed a bank.
Right. Nothing's illegal. Everything, but I just even the
murdered
things I've
somebody,
done.
nothing
No,
like that.
nothing like that.
Unalive
God,
somebody,
it's just,
I
I
think
just have. I'm just. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
All right. Anyway. So yes. All right. Bad
like I'm gonna
influence
press you
made
more on
me
that.
a bad person. So remember, I told a story about when I went on the bike with my friend. So remember, I told that story recently, and it was late at night, and they did the friends on the bike.
Yes.
Okay. So again, like that's a very mild example of it. It's nothing like super intense or overt, but it certainly is like he was the one that was like, "Hey, let's go do this. I've got cash. It makes sense. Like, why wouldn't we go get cereal and milk and buy a cap gun in the middle of the night?" So again, that is the most mildest of cases. Is like he was kind of a bad influence. He was kind of like that. I would have never done that without his influence or his. So again, with Adam, it was a couple other times we had gotten in trouble, and it's like, why do we get in trouble? But he would always be like, "Oh, no one's gonna care. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it." Again, very benign. Nothing really illegal. We're very young. We're 9, 10, 11 years old. But yeah. Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah. I was trying to do more discreetly than that, but
No,
you turned
it's
the TV
fine.
off back there.
Yeah, I turned my monitor off behind you. Yeah. So.
So he was the guy that's like the downplay everything guy. What could happen? Nothing. It's not a
Yeah, but again,
everything-
like very like
Don't
but
even-
we're children. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we shouldn't shoot BBs at each other. Oh, it's fine. You're not going to get hurt. You know? Yeah, you can really get hurt shooting BBs at each other. Like, what? You know, it was again not a bad thing. So the other one, we had gotten in trouble once in the winter, not a summertime once. No bonus points for me, but it was the winter time, and his name was we'll call him Brandon K. Is all I'll say. And he was like such a bad influence. He was just like encouraging us to do all this stuff, having all these ideas of all this stuff to do. We ended up like driving through people's yards. Like, you know, I was in the back seat of the car. Like, I wasn't driving the car. I was like 15. And then like stealing a bunch of Christmas ornaments where he would run out, he'd grab it, and he'd throw like a reindeer in the back seat. So I'm just like holding like one of those reindeer lawn ornaments around Christmas time. Anyway, we went wild one night for way too long. And it was like basically because this one kid was new to the friend group, and he was like, no, well, let's do it. And all of us, like, his fusion into the group made us all like evil that night. But we all like learned a big valuable lesson because we were quickly caught and punished from that. And then the third one was just like a kid in the neighborhood who was just like always down to take it a level more, like to just everything. Whatever, like someone did a backflip, he's like, I'm going to do a double backflip, and then like get hurt on the trampoline. He just like, you stay out till 9, I'm going to stay out till 10, just because everything just had to be like more extreme. He was like, I'm extreme, you know, type of guy.
So I always found that a little interesting because it's always fun to like break the rules or stretch the rules. But I was always the kind of person that would like, let's bend them a little bit, be a little mischievous, but like, I don't want to get in any serious trouble. But, you know, like going across the line is fun. But when you got that guy with you that stretches it too far,
yeah,
that shit could create a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, no, and there was just like a bunch of little stories, but that's like, there was a certain point where just being around him, it was like, I'm going to get in trouble one day if I'm around you. So I did a good job as a young kid of like, I think recognizing those people that were bad influences on me, and I naturally wanted to separate from them. You know what I mean? I like naturally was like, this doesn't make any fucking sense to be around this person. Like, I didn't have any crazy way to contextualize it or explain it, but just always at that young age, I think I was been able to like identify and like recognize, you know, again, just like those people that were creating that evil fusion with me. Like if I keep this fusion with this person, it's not good for me. So,
dude, did you like hanging around people that were a little more rebellious than you? And I'm asking that because, like, for me, I enjoyed sometimes being around people that were like, I got enough of like I'm doing a bad, like the excitement of doing a bad thing by being around people are doing things past what I would consider my line. You know, it's like I didn't have to participate, but I was with them. Let them do their crazy shit. I hold my line back, but it ultimately added that extra element of like excitement without me having to be the participating. You know what I mean? Like, so
totally.
sometimes I liked it.
But like, you're right. I had this one friend group, and his name was like Kyle R. and Matt J. And they were that. They were like on the line, kind of like edgy. I think they were like smoking pot and like smoking cigarettes and like trying to sneak drinks and shots. But when I would hang out with them, they knew that they would call me like goody two shoes. Like they knew that I didn't want any part of any of that stuff. I just wanted to like hang out and play video games and chill. So they were always like, again, that made it easy. I was cool with those guys because they were never like, they never wanted me to be evil with them. Like they were not good kids, and they were vandalizers, and they were like crazy. And again, doing shit way too, you know, young, but yeah, I enjoyed that. Like that was cool. I liked those guys. Like that,
dude,
it was a reason to hang out with them.
It's interesting because typically, and I have zero stats on this, but from just what I've experienced in my life, the people that kind of follow the rules a little bit more end up with a more settled life as they get older, a little bit more successful. Like they use better judgment. That, you know, it seems that way, but there's a certain element of that where I think those people who are willing to take risks can also end up being super successful because they're willing to take risks that other people aren't.
Sure, yeah.
But in my experience, dude, I've always, like, I had a couple friends growing up, and they were kind of like, we go to a party and they would like steal somebody's CD, and I remember like passing it behind our backs, like to, like, all the way around to somebody else. Somebody take it out, and then, dude, that one time actually, like 6 months later, we're hanging out with some of these girls from this other town, and I ended up with the CD in my car, and I was like, as a matter of fact, we stole it. It's yours, actually. You can have it back. It was just kind of funny. I joked, like, kind of played it off, but it was like really my buddy stole it and just kind of handed it off to the guy next to him. Then that guy gave it to me. I was like, handed it off, and somehow it got left in my car, so I put it in my visor and the CD. Dude. But I've had friends that were like, we're going to parties and they were doing some drugs.
Some drugs.
Like, you want to participate? Like, dude, I'm good, man. I don't want to. Like I'd actually prefer you not doing what you're doing in my car, but okay, but I'm not going to do it.
Here we are.
Right. And I've been in some shady places with some shady people. But I've always had, like, I guess my line of right and wrong. I had my own line. Like, I knew what was right, knew what was wrong. Like, growing up, my curfew wasn't like 9 o'clock like others. It was like midnight or something. Whereas, like, everybody else had like a 9 or 10 o'clock curfew, or they're out all night. So I was like, it would cross over into those people that were doing some shit they shouldn't be doing. But it was across my line that I thought, but I didn't mind hanging out with them because I thought it was kind of sometimes I enjoyed being uncomfortable by some of the shit that was, the people we were hanging out with. God, these people are fucking shady, man. But it was like a little bit, it was edgy enough where it was exciting and I didn't have to participate. But I used to, like, even now I know some people that are like, oh yeah, every once in a while they like to go to like these like just complete dive bars in like the worst areas just to fucking experience just random ass people. And I'm like, that's kind of fucking cool. A little dangerous, like, but
no, I mean, that's where you get like the real salt of the earth, they say. Like, that's where you have the real conversations, is with those type of spots. But no, I mean, what about you though? I mean, there's anyone in particular from your childhood?
Oh, dude, my
family,
buddy. Yeah,
like
no.
you've got you're a region rat. Like,
Yes.
You've got to have some stories, dude.
Well, dude, I've got a buddy of mine that I was really close to. Unfortunately, he had passed away. He battled addiction for a lot of years. He was also whatever that childhood diabetic kind of whatever type diabetic you are when you're like
Type 1 or
I don't
know.
type, but he was one of the, like, he always had to get like shots, and if he started acting loopy, we had to get him like orange juice. Like, we all had a protocol to follow when he started fucking.
I had that. I had a homie like that.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, he was a dude that would like sneak out, and then we'd drive, like, get in a car and go over to somebody's house, like in high school, and just like throw rocks at the window and sneak in. Like, he was the one that was always pushing the line, but his personality, at least when we were in high school and college, was kind of fun, mischievous. Like, all the parents loved him, so like he can get away with a lot more because he was able to like charm his way out of it. Eventually, his lifestyle caught up to him, but it was mostly because of the addiction, right? And I miss that fucking dude. But even as we got older, he just never. He was just stuck in that, and everybody else was kind of, and I think that bothered him too. But he got us into some jams, got us into some fucking chases, got us into almost fights.
Chases from
car chases,
dogs, other people, cops.
Car chases. Those are always the funnest.
I told a car chase story. I don't remember you being like, "Yeah, I've been in a bunch of those."
I've been in a few.
Okay,
those were fun. He was the one, like, I remember, like, he convinced me to take I was telling my mom this when I was home last time, like, taking my Escort. I had this little Ford Escort. And we took it off road. Like, in this area where we lived, there was like these little jumps and stuff. And we used to, like, this other girl we knew, they had this old car, and they had this like big Delta 88 or some shit. It's like some big car. And we used, like, where they had like the whoop-de-doo section for like the motocross track. Dude, we were like out there racing our shit. I broke a tire rod, and then I remember I had to call my dad. Like, I was like, fuck. I just got to call my dad like weekly for like the next month before I ask him for something, because my dad and I weren't close when I was a kid. And then so I was like, oh, hey, Dad, how's things going? And then eventually I was like, oh, shit, Dad, you won't believe what happened. Can I get some money? Because I couldn't just come out and ask for it the first time.
So you had to like strategize and game.
Yes.
Your own dad, even as like that at that age, that's wild.
Yeah,
It's wild you knew how to do that.
Yeah, but no, these same friends is like whenever it would snow. I remember I blew the transmission in my car because it was only. You remember my cousin Vinny?
Yeah.
Positive traction.
Yeah.
I didn't have that shit in my Cutlass. It was a blizzard, and we took my Cutlass out, and we're trying to reverse drive, and fucked up my transmission. Because we go out at stupid times like that, and what we called skitching, like hanging onto the bumper, and somebody drive around the neighborhood as fast as you can, or tie the rope to the back of his truck. Yeah.
Okay, like not during the drive.
Right. Yeah. No, and like we'd go down. Like, dude, he would get us doing some crazy shit.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Were you guys familiar with the move where you would take like 2 of the trays from the lunchroom in high school, put them on the back tires of a car, pop the e-brake, and then do donuts?
No.
But does that make sense? Because there's no friction on those plastic trays. So you could literally, like my buddy would just roll backwards over 2 trays
and just
pop his e-brake and then just like spin his car, and it would just.
Bro, I gotta tell you, man.
I was like, dude, that was wild. I don't know what. And by the way, they would last like 4 or 5 spins, and then it'd be burned through. Yeah.
Dude, I remember the first time a dude I knew had like, he had an S10 with a big block.
Yeah, dude. Yes.
And then you just power brake the shit out of that, or brake torque it or whatever they call it. Yeah, just fucking smoke the tires. But anytime, I remember the time I got like I got a Beretta Z26, and it was a front wheel drive. First car I ever had that was front wheel drive in the snow, and I couldn't do donuts until I figured out, I guess you got to do them in reverse because it's front wheel drive instead of rear. But like whenever it would snow, I love driving in the snow because you'd have these contests of how long you can drive the car sideways down the road. Like you cut it one way and then cut the wheel back the other way and then keep feathering the gas and try to coast it out like that. How long can we get all the way down the whole and doing donuts in the parking lots? I mean, dude, and if it was snowing, dude, like, my buddy would call or whatever, and we'd sneak out in the middle of the night and just go fucking do donuts and just drive around like assholes. And yeah, I've had some friends
I'm
like
surprised you're alive, if I'm being honest.
Dude, if I can go back in time, going back in time machine, dude, I would love to learn how to fucking actually, and I still would like to. They have a drifting school here. I would love to fucking go do that.
Fallon's cousin, my wife's cousin, is like deep in the drifting scene. He's like a pro, he knows them all. He has like a drifting car and a personal car, and he goes and does events. So I can hook you up, bro.
Dude,
I can hook you up.
So fucking fun.
I can at least get you like connected with him to like ride in the seat next time they do an event. And it costs a lot of money because your car chews through tires.
Dude, I don't know if we were working together at the time. I think you had already left, but there was a dude, and I'm not gonna see where he worked, but he had a Aston Martin DB9 or 10 or 12. I don't know. It was a V12. It had a V12, so maybe I don't know what the Aston Martin, whatever. And it was and he was telling me, he's like, man, I took this out to the track and was like where they do street racing. And I was like, bro, next time you decide to do that, fucking call me. He's like, you sure? I go, fucking call me. I will roll with you, dude. Let's go fucking race this thing, dude. I'm not even asking you to drive. I'm sure when I got there, I'd ask him to drive. But like, let me fucking be with you when we're fucking racing this thing. That sounds like fun. Like, holy shit fun.
It's okay. So yes, I mean it is fun. I've ridden in it. It is. I thought it was kind of like just watching it, being in the seat. It feels totally different. It's like a whole different vibe. It's awesome. And then, dude, I was gonna tell you, God, I dropped something. Oh, damn! It doesn't matter. It was something funny. I had something for you. I dropped it.
So I'll tell you when I got hooked on that. Even though I really, so even when it was raining back home and we drive like hit the puddles, and then you kind of like hydroplane, a little dangerous. And back then, like, I don't know if the cars still do it, the cut out because it got wet, and you got to wait for it to dry out before you start to fuck her back up. And then we'd go over these railroad tracks and try and jump them, Dude, that kind of shit was like, so that was one of the things that my buddy would try and convince me into doing, and I was like, yeah, it's not going to take much convincing. That seems like just a blast. I remember one time hitting these tracks and like getting like the front end coming up and coming down, and you see a sparks coming off the front of the bumper. You're like, uh-oh. This is going to be a problem when I take this bitch home. Dude, but no, I remember the first time my cousin in Maryland took me to a go-kart track, and it was a slick track. And I was 12, 13. I was a little guy, and I'm driving this go-kart, and I'm going around the track, and I kept fucking spinning out every time I hit the corner. He goes, oh, you got to turn the wheel back the other way. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah, when you go that way. When it starts to spin, it spins the other way.
Countersteer.
Yeah. And that was, at that age, I was like, when I figured that out and figured out how to like fucking drift around that corner, dude, and then when I got my license and was like 16, and when it would snow, and you sit there try to figure out how to like literally get the car to stay sideways all the way down the street. Except this one time, I remember hitting a dry patch. I was like, shh, and I was like flooring it because I wanted to keep it going. So I mean, the engine was revved up, and then all of a sudden, I was like, I just saw a stretch of like dry patch in the middle. The tires grabbed, fucking spun that car back the other way.
Yeah.
Whoom! And I went around so quick. And I remember the person I was going to pick up was like 2 houses down. And I was like, wah, boom, spun that thing all the way around, ended up in the neighbor's yard, drove around. I was like, all right, we're good. I'm here. And I was like, my heart was going so fast because I was like, how didn't I hit the mailbag?
You hit a tree, you hit another car, you hit a driveway, a mailbox,
dude.
bro.
But and you can just see that little stretch where it caught, like how much smoke came off the tires.
Dude.
You could smell the burning rubber, which is a great smell. You could fucking smell it. Oh my God.
Dude, no, I mean, growing up where I did too, like we had black ice or we had like flash ice storms in that part of the country. So it'd literally rain, ice. And then all of a sudden you'd have like this sheet
Ice
of
track.
ice all the time. It was like rough. And so once when we were real kids, there was this bridge where it kind of like a major freeway goes like left and right, like, you know, north and south, if you will. And we spun out and almost went off a bridge, like, and went like 40, 50 feet down onto another like part of the road. Like, but it was scary. We ended up like fucking up the van. We got there safe. That wasn't the story. I just remember that. But because of stuff like that, like when we were learning to drive, my parents were like obsessed with you understanding how to counter steer. And the moment you start spinning out from ice, foot off the brake, foot on the gas, and counter steer, you know? And so what you're talking about, I never once did it for like fucking fun to like practice, but at least 3, maybe up to 5 times while I was just driving around, like living my life, the car would just start to spin out of control. And I would just be like, just like very calmly counter steer. I remember my ex was in the car once and like we were on this like very like, you know, back road. And it was like to the left is this drop off and stuff like that. Very hilly and trees. And we just hit a spot and just the car starts to spin. And I'm just like very calmly just like counter steered and just like got the car back. And she's like, if that would have been me, I'd have been at the bottom of the ditch.
So,
I'm just like, first off, stay calm. Like that's the first thing. Anyway, but I just was so happy my parents
I always
they
tell
were
people
all over me, dude.
When any of those intense situations come up, the best thing to do is panic. It's usually
It's good advice.
Yeah.
Good,
It's
great
just
advice,
panic
dude.
and scream and just make a lot of knee-jerk reactions is
I
ideal.
usually just piss myself.
Yeah. Dude, no, but like it's funny that you say that because if you're the passenger in a car like that, you kind of freak out. But learning how to drive, a manual transmission is, you don't need them anymore, but that was helpful because you could always just drop the clutch and light them up and you can kind of play around. And then I remember growing up, I think my stepdad was like, it's important to actually, like it was fun, but you know, he was a cop. So it was also like, go to a parking lot and learn how to drive in the fucking snow.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like go to an open parking lot and basically play around so you learn how to control the car in the fucking snow. Because back then, you know, like you had to put sandbags in the back of a pickup truck.
Yeah.
Like learn how to drive.
That's
in the
why
snow.
I had my first accident. I didn't like it. I just got the car. It was the first like big rainstorm, and I didn't have sandbags in the back. And when I went to slam the brakes, you know, it was front wheel drive downhill. Brakes lock up. You just skate on that.
And
shit,
that was a big thing. The one time I rolled my car in a ditch was because
I
it was
remember
front
that story.
Yeah, I was like, not knowing that front wheel drive handles differently at the time. I was like taking my foot off the gas, and like it had ABS brakes, so like you slam on the brakes, and I'm used to that threshold brake. You hit the brakes until they lock up and the car starts to like slide, and then you let off the brake a little bit, like you feather it yourself to gain control. Right? And ABS, it takes you longer to stop, but you can always steer through it, right? But if you don't have ABS and you have rear wheel drive, you can fuck with the brakes and the gas to spin the back end around. And when you have front wheel drive, you can't do that. So it's a problem. Like, and that's when I'm blaming my crash on the fact that I didn't know how to control a front wheel drive. It didn't handle the same.
Right.
Like any other car, I would have put the back end in, it would have been fine. I would have towed out, no issues. But this fucking thing just didn't go that way. So, but no, I used to love that. Like I really wish I could have like almost like Demolition Man get that old car with a lot of horsepower, no ABS brakes, no traction control, none of that garbage, and just fucking
American muscle.
yeah, and just fucking when you hit the gas, just whack and just fucking roast those tires. My God.
Okay, guys. Jason here is bricked up, ladies and gentlemen. We have to cut his camera off. He is bricked up. No, dude. So anyway, back to like I know we're kind of off topic on like tires and anti-lock brakes and all these stories, but again, like the whole point of like where this main discussion started was usually all those bad situations, all those mistakes, all those ditches, all those wrecks, all those things. Or because someone is kind of influencing you to do something you shouldn't be doing. Like sometimes it happens at inane or innocuous
Peer
times,
pressure.
but most of the time you do the dumbest shit, or you get caught doing stuff like that's like because of some evil influence. So cut off, those people from your life. Like that's the theme of it. Is like recognize when there's evil influence hitting you.
Do you think it's important to experience some of that so that you know where your
Exactly,
cutoff is?
and that's why I think I'm glad. Like, most of my stories are when I was a kid.
Yeah, I would say that the other thing too is like when it comes to that is like growing up, peer pressure is like, there's no such thing, and then you get older, you're like, oh yeah, there's a lot of things I did because I just didn't want to be accused of being a bitch.
Sure, and I think that was actually again. I think most of my I'm not trying to. I think it sounds braggadocious. I think you know me. I'm pretty like not. I try not to be too braggadocious at times. You know what I mean? To be cocky or like overstay too much.
Yeah, no, I would say that. I would actually. You do a pretty good job of downplaying.
Sure. So like that's what I'm saying. So I want to be clear when I say this, but that peer pressure stuff. There was just I remember being like 7th, 8th grade, and just being like, nah. It was so weird. I was so based, and that's like why like I think I survived high school so well, and I wasn't forced to do the drugs with those one kids or like drink with those kids. Is he like, Zorn, you gonna do that? I'm like, no. It was just this certainty. Like people couldn't, but again, like I'm not saying it was like perfect all the time. It's like, hey, let's go egg this kid's house, and I'd be like, yeah. Like again, evil would creep in, but I think for the most part, like I really did a great job managing against peer pressure. And another guy in my friend group was kind of the same way, and that's how we kind of bonded. And like, I get to see him next week in Kansas City, but like we were always just kind of like peer pressure never bothered us. You guys are gonna do shots? What are you pussies? What are you dorks? What are you losers? We're just like, okay.
You know what's funny is that like,
whatever, dude,
like the idea of giving in to peer pressure because you don't want to be the pussy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Is weird because like you're giving in so that you don't be a pussy, and really giving in is being a pussy.
Being a pussy. Thank
Right.
you. I think that was our argument. Thank you. That was a perfect way to put a cherry on top. Is like us not drinking is us not being pussy. Like we're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. It's the opposite.
we're like strong enough to be like, we're cool. We're fine.
Yeah, like,
we don't need
you
this.
do
or,
you, dude. I'm not gonna do it.
yeah, or whatever. Or like even like at a certain age, I would always be the first kid asleep. Like to this day, you know me. Like I'm like, can you leave? I want to go to bed.
Yeah. Sometimes you fall asleep right in the middle.
I mean,
It's a whole
that's
fucking
one
show.
time. Actually, it was one time almost. But no, but for real, like when we'd be at sleepovers or like at the weekend, it'd be like 10 o'clock, and I'd just be like, all right, guys, I'm gonna go to bed. They're like, you're gonna go to bed? We're just gonna start a new ping pong tournament. We're gonna do a whole nother round of Madden. And I'm just like, cool, have fun doing that. I'm going to bed.
Dude, but I did always like to be around the person that would influence me to cross my boundaries a little bit.
Again, and all my friends in those safe places can do that. Like they're not an evil. They get you out of your comfort zone. They're a different perspective. Yes, like that's healthy.
Right.
That's healthy. But
Right.
they're not evil influences.
Right. There's some evil that gets you to do some really bad stuff. Like I would draw my line where I need to draw my line. But yes, I think the point is like you can cross a line when you're in a safe group that can recognize like, oh, right, dude, we're going to. There's always going to be the voice of reason. But like when you're at a sleepover as a kid and you sneak out on your bikes, you're like, all right, probably shouldn't do it. But we're a cool group. It's not going to get too bad, but yeah, of course we shouldn't do it. And those are the boundaries that I always, even to this day, I think are kind of fun. Is like because without the rules, there's nothing fun to break.
Yeah.
So you got to push that. And it always made me wonder. It's like those people who really push the boundaries. Like, what was it like at home? Like, were they able to get away with everything? Like, how they're pushing themselves so far?
Well, and again, I think that's where this comes from too. Is like I inherently I want to get my little sense of adventure or like doing things wrong in the most like simple and plain of ways. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be like, I'm going to stay up late tonight. You know, I'm going to call out of work tomorrow. Like, just like that to me is like that extreme life. But like, I just don't want, because I have that personality and I'm willing to like, you know, be a little like, use a little guile or be a little sneaky. Like, I don't need evil influence in my life. That's going to make me worse. Way worse than I already am, I guess, is
right,
what I'm
dude.
saying.
I was gonna say, like, I like to cross the line where, like, I'm kind of excited about it next day, not regretful. Right? When you do something that you regret, you're like, that was so, and then you beat yourself up over it. But if somebody makes you do something like, oh my God, I can't believe we got away with it because it wasn't that big of a deal, but yet we did it. You know, like as an adult, you're like, oh, I shouldn't be going to do this during office. I'll just bring my computer with me, make it look like I'm doing, I'm just thinking my buddy was like playing some golf with. He's got his fucking computer up there, so he's logged in. So it looks like, but we're really just fucking off. Or we're sitting at a bar and we're like, oh, both working from a bar, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm dialed in today. You know, but you're like, whatever. This isn't gonna get. This is
I worked
kind of harmless,
I
but not.
worked with you in the pandemic. There was a couple days, you know, you may have golfed before work started, and
Yeah, plenty of days.
maybe that bled in a little bit to work hours too. You
Yeah.
know, who knows? You know,
Yeah.
you know, I'm. Yeah, never mind. Good Lord. No, but I feel you, dude. Like it's that's what I'm saying. So if you have like those inclinations to already try to play the games and do those things, having evil fusion or evil influence in your life is not good, Bob.
No, do you think
Not
if like the more you cross the line and do that, do you think like your line, like, do you get accustomed to the change? You know what I mean? Like if you think about people who do bad shit,
exactly.
like
I think exactly
like your
that,
your line
yeah.
of right or wrong is like maybe
Yes.
here, and then eventually you cross it. The more you cross it, it's like all of a sudden you just kind of become accustomed to like this is now acceptable. Like I always said, like I don't think people who are addicts, it doesn't happen overnight. It's like I did it once, I did it twice, and then next thing you know, you're like doing it way more than you should, or like you always got to be able to figure out how to put your own boundaries and self. Like you have to have the discipline to self-correct.
Okay, so I never thought I'd be using Dave Chappelle / Rick James quote to give
I'm Rick James, bitch. Is that what you're gonna give me?
Yes, to give you to compliment to your point. But Charlie Murphy is telling the story of Rick James, and he's like, Rick was a habitual line stepper, and that's what you mean is like you can take steps over that line. But you got to know I'm taking this step and what are the repercussions and the things. But if you're constantly in a place where you're just stepping over lines, at a certain point, the art and the act of stepping over the line means nothing anymore.
Dude.
And that's exactly what you're saying is like once you get used to just like stretching it, that's the new normal. So I don't know. It's a good point.
It's fun to get away with certain things. But yes, there is an art. The fun of it could be in the art, as you just said, like the art form of I did this, and I brought myself back, right? Like I'm kind of teasing it a little bit, but I'm not going to go too far. Who would, without a name necessarily, is there one particular person that stood out through your life? What about as an adult? Have you ever known anybody as an adult that tried to help you, like that you were acquaintances with that would cross?
Yeah, Forrest W. is what I'll say.
Whitaker?
No, I know, right? No, I mean, yeah, I know his name. I could say it right now. I'm just not going to. Yeah, that was one that like crossed the lines constantly. Yeah, and just like even like in even interpersonal relationships and situations with authority in the moment, like just everything, just a habitual line stepper was that guy, Forrest W. Oh, he just brought me back. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, and I worked with a guy once that like I enjoyed hanging out with because he was fun and he was funny. But dude, the amount of marriages this guy went through and the amount of fucking
that was the
shit this
relationships
guy was into,
and
like,
favors.
Oh my God, and like
OU and oh man.
He was really good about at least acknowledging his wrongdoing, and like at one point he tried to turn to like religion, and I was like, man, he was going so hard into religion. I was like, this dude's got a lot of fucking vices if he's trying to straighten it out. But I will tell you this, man, he was a blast to hang out with, and they would do some shit, and I'm like, bro, I can't participate in that, but it is a lot of fun to be around because anytime we were around, the the settings we were in felt relatively safe, but he was far across the line. And I still have some friends to this day that do some shit that I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, how are you this successful? And then, I had an uncle on my dad's side that once said there's a time and a place for everything. And I thought that made sense. But then as I got older, I was like, there's really not. Like, there's not, like, most people don't have the regulation or discipline to know where those lines are. And there's not really a time and a place for everything. There's a time and place for certain things.
Sure.
Right.
Everything is too broad of a brush.
Right. But it is kind of cool when you're in like those environments and there's like one person sort of, like I said, I'll take it back to like relatively a harmless thing as I remember getting in trouble for drinking at church. Right. I fell asleep drinking the church wine and I was an altar boy. Like, okay. Like, that was kind of across the line, but we're in a safe environment. We're not going to get too carried. Nothing stupid's going to happen. Like one of those midnight services show up a little, and like testing out the wine and all, whatever. Like, okay, yeah, we got some heat for that, but it's not the end of the world, right? But like if you're in a safe environment, somebody's like it's always fun to just sort of cross the line, but you go too far, man. Sometimes there's no coming back.
Well, I think that's it. Is like that's why you have to avoid evil fusion in your life because you will become a habitual line stepper.
Not a hot stepper.
Not a hot stepper, but what is that? Okay.
This from that song, Hot Stepper. I don't know.
Okay, all right. Well, I think
as
soon as we're done, we're gonna listen to Hot Stepper. I promise you. I'm gonna put my speakers on. And we're gonna do Hot Stepper. But I think we should close this fucker out, bro. Right. So, anything else on evil fusion, dude?
No.
You bring out the worst in me, but I love you for it. And I can't wait.
I
can't wait for us to.
I bring out the worst in a lot of
episodes.
people. I push a lot of buttons. So.
All right. Well, you guys should also push some buttons and write us a fucking email on your keyboard or phone. Or you can shoot us an email, bottledandcannedpod@gmail.com. That's all spelled out, bottledandcannedpod. And that's also the same thing for our socials, @bottledandcannedpod, TikTok, Twitch, and Insta. You just can't wait. Go.
Yeah, no, I just want to really know, what is the craziest shit that goes down in Sweden?
Right in Sweden. We wish we could talk to you. We wish that we feel
like
we're
get you on as a
friends.
guest, Sweden.
You'll be on as a guest. You can call in, just write us a note, Sweden, and say your line, damn it.
Good night, Sweden.